What's going on, people? It's the Xbot 448, and today I want to talk about the new December SDKs for the X1. It seems that this hacker group called H4LT, which I'm going to call Halt because that's what it looks like with the 4 being an A. I'm going to call them Halt. They leaked information about the new SDKs, and one of the very interesting facts to this SDK is that Microsoft is going to let developers kind of utilize the 7th core, the CPU, even more for developing games. And that's going to give, a decent boost to what these developers can do with the games. But as with any, positive addition in existing hardware, you are going to see kind of like a setback. And I'm kind of disturbed by this setback because it takes away from certain Kinect functionalities with games. Now, what happens is, for people who don't know, the CPU in the X1 is an 8-core CPU. Now, they use 2 of these cores for the operating system and the Kinect commands. Now, with using the 7th core, as the developers decide to do this, kind of like the trade-off is these developers can't develop any in-game commands and such, for their games with the Kinect. And I'm a little iffy about that personally, because I would actually like to see the Kinect kind of more involved in a lot more games in general, and to see them kind of taken away from the game specific voice commands and such, it's a little disheartening, I gotta tell you. But not only that, there's another setback, and this setback is the fact that 7th core also deals with general Kinect commands for the X1, like the snap feature, the X1 record that, like using your voice to bring these things up. That 7th core deals with that. So the repercussion to this is these developers don't know how much of the CPU they can use at any given time, because that 7th core deals with these general commands that people with the Kinect use a lot, making it really tricky to kind of develop and use this core and the added boost it gives to its truest potential. Now, what I think will happen is, I think developers will utilize this core, and I think when you do use the voice commands for the snap and the record that, I think you're going to get like a kind of like a glitch in the game, a certain drop in frame rate, a certain like kind of game pause real quick. It's not going to be anything too detrimental, because once the voice command is activated and initiated, after that the core is back to the game and what the game's doing. But I think in the end, what's really going to benefit the system is when they implement the new OS that's running off of Windows 10. Basically, for people who don't know, the X1 has 3 different operating systems working together. Right now they are using 8.1 based kernels to run these 3 operating systems, but when Windows 10 is implemented into the X1, it's going to be Windows 10 based, making it a more efficient OS. Not only that, you got DirectX 12 coming, which is going to utilize implementation of the multiple cores and distributing data evenly among the cores available for game development. Now, I think with those 2 put together, I think they'll be able to use 7 cores no problem in terms of game development, and I strongly believe that they'll only have to use 1 core for both the operating system and the Kinect commands. But until then, I think Microsoft was kind of giving developers a little leeway, and since they're going to be able to use the 7th core with DX12 and Windows 10 implemented in the system, they gave them a little kind of like a preview towards it. But as usual, if you like this video, definitely hit that thumbs up button for me. As always, comment and definitely subscribe. But this is the Xbot 448, and I am definitely signing off.
Just too white and nerdy. Think I'm just too white and nerdy. Can't you see I'm white and nerdy?